Luna.
What, Luna? Oh, she's so cute. With the exception of, so Sheila doesn't have like the white stripe down. I love that, like little white stripe down her. Yeah. So it's nice to see you again, Lindsay.
It's good to be back. It's been a minute, but I remember sitting here with you guys.
Oh, that's
it's like,
cool.
I'm excited to come back and see these guys. You guys are fun.
So,
You're fun.
do you travel? This is your little dog, Luna. How old is she?
Luna's 4.
4?
Yeah.
And what's the story behind her? Like, where did you adopt her, or how did you find her?
You know, I searched really hard for like a dog that I was like, I need a really special dog that I can travel with, that loves people. Like, I wanted a dog I could bring anywhere, and I swear she found me. You know, I found her through an adoption, adopting her from a shelter, and she has just been my little angel.
She's so cute. How old is she?
She's 4.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she's like a teenager in dog years, I think, or a young adolescent.
That's hilarious. She's cute.
She's so sweet.
And she's got the big ears. But yeah, we've got a little chihuahua. And the same thing here. So our little chihuahua, Sheila, was actually outside of the studio. Like a cold November sunny day, but it was freezing out there. And Jessica noticed, she's like, we're talking on the air, and she goes, there's a little dog out there. And I look, and so we get into the break. We try to catch her. She takes off that way into the parking lot, running probably at her peak. She was running probably 25 miles an hour. Like,
she's fast.
Right?
Yeah.
So then the next day, same thing. Couldn't get her. Long story short, ended up using a feral cat trap to capture her.
Really?
And then from the moment, so I was taking her across the valley to a friend who works for an adoption agency. And within 25 minutes, she totally got in my head. And we had just lost a dog of 15 years, not too. Yeah, so the last thing I wanted was a dog, another dog.
Right, yeah.
And we had my wife Tammy's dog at that point, and he was kind of going through some health stuff. I'm like, I don't want to, but I had to reach out, and I was like, so maybe we can foster her. It was one of those, or I had the conversation with my wife, and she's like, she knew at that point. It was a total foster fail. So the moment I picked her up, I stopped off at PetSmart, got a couple beds, put her on the pet insurance. That's not a good thing.
You're in at that point.
We were in the boat.
No turning back.
Yeah.
So cute.
She said, so you travel with her everywhere then? You take her everywhere?
Yes. She comes on tour. She comes on stage during the show.
Wow.
You know, I mean, it's people's favorite part of the show. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
man, I should have just got a dog and been a dog trainer, because she comes on like we're wearing like matching sparkly like tuxedos or something.
That's
you know,
cute.
and she does a few tricks and people go nuts. People love Luna.
Is she quiet? Has she not had her coffee? Is she tired? What's going on with her?
She's a chill.
She's a very chill chihuahua. She's not dominant. She's super she's just happy if she's in a lap.
Oh.
It's like a lap dog.
Specifically mom's lap.
Yeah.
So do you have any, you have family here, right?
So I do have like cousins here.
Okay.
I grew up in Arizona, but I went to school here in Utah at BYU.
You did.
So this is one of my homes, one of the few places that I really do consider like a home.
That is awesome. Okay, where'd you grow up in AZ? I forgot.
In Gilbert.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so my sister lives there. I grew up in Tempe.
Oh.
So how long did you live there?
I mean, from the time I was like 8 years old till when I went to college.
Oh, wow.
What high school did you go to? Gilbert High?
I went to Mesquite High.
Oh, you did?
I'm actually going back to my high school tomorrow for like the first time.
You are?
I'm going to go and do I'm so excited. It's like a pep assembly.
No way.
I'm going to go and talk to the kiddos, play some music. But I realized I was like, I haven't been back to my high school. And
That's cool.
my high school girlfriends, I told them, I was like, yeah, I'm going to Mesquite. They're all coming. We're going to have lunch together in the cafeteria.
Cafeteria.
I know. Be like, we're going to find our table, and it's been taken over, I'm sure, by some other people at this point, but we're going to try to
Kick
find
them out of the table.
Be like, hey, this is our table today.
Yeah.
Freshmen, get out of here. No, I'm just kidding. I love you. Can we join you? But
Can you sit with us?
Can we?
So how long have you been out of
sit
high
with
school
you?
then? How long has it been since you've been back there?
Oh my gosh. Like I've been graduated for like 12, 13 years now. I mean, it's been a minute. So
Yeah.
Good memories from high school, I'm thinking?
great memories.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I wasn't like the coolest kid on campus, but I had great friends. Like I was so lucky to have, and I still keep in touch with these
that's neat.
friends.
Oh,
like
that's huge.
they're lifelong friends. And, so we're all excited to go back together.
That is awesome.
So what about, so you went to BYU, I'm thinking you're pulling for them for the big game tomorrow,
The
right?
game, yeah, it's
Right,
wait,
so-
oh, is it
well,
tonight?
today. No,
Tonight.
I'm
It's
Thursday.
tonight.
Wednesday. It's tomorrow's. Yeah, it's tonight.
Yeah. We didn't win once the Utes when I was there. So I'm really hoping they bring it home tonight. I know it's been years.
Are you going to go to the game or no?
Unfortunately, I'm flying to Arizona tonight.
Okay.
I wasn't aware when my flights were booked. So,
So before, and we're going to play your song in a second here, but I wanted to ask you, we did a topic yesterday about grudge holders, people that hold grudges. You don't seem like the type of person that would hold a grudge. Are you a grudge holder?
no, I'm not.
Yeah. Because the reason I'm asking you is because going back to America's Got Talent back in 2010, when Piers Morgan said what he said about you, but then he came back and apologized. I was just wondering, like, how do you still keep in touch with that guy? Because he basically said there was no place anywhere for somebody that does what you do.
He did say that.
Yeah.
He's not
along
very
with
smart.
a few other colorful things that he said that weren't very kind.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. It hurt so bad. Like, you know, I cried not only for hours that night, but like that caused me many tears of probably mostly humiliation.
Yeah.
At that point, being like that harshly critiqued, you know.
In public, so everybody could see it.
Not just in public, in front of millions of people.
Yeah.
You know, like I think 11 million people were tuned in.
Oh my gosh.
Like, talk about having your most embarrassing moment in front of 11 million people. I mean, humiliating. And also, something that reality TV does to you is that I don't think if you've never been on it, you can't quite understand. It puts you in this mindset where the only thing that exists is that moment.
Right.
Like, you just get so wrapped up in the fact that I have, like, if I don't win this competition, I'm nothing, you know, or if I don't make it to the next round, obviously I'm no good, you know, but it really kind of gets in your head. And this was the first time I'd ever been in front of more than 100 people in an open mic night. So it was just so devastating to think that that was apparently my big shot and I blew it.
Yeah.
But from that experience, you know, you learn if you get up again, which thankfully I did, you pick yourself up off the floor and you realize that life is kind and it will give you other chances.
Yeah.
Like there's no such thing as the biggest moment of your life. And if you blew the biggest moment of your life, don't worry. If you get up again, there will be another biggest moment of your life. And you know, you realize that once you're in this industry that anyone who succeeded failed so many times.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes they were public, sometimes they were private, but we've all fallen down and cried on bathroom floors. You know, like that's just the way it is. And the people that succeed are just the ones that are like, okay, I'm going to cry for a little bit. And I'm going to brush myself off.
That's right.
Put on a little bit of makeup, and we're going to hit it again.
How long did it take you to get through that? Like, were you, because like you said, at the time, it's everything. That's your whole world. And how long did you have your family, kind of friends going, it's, you know, there's life beyond this, and you've got talent. And how long did it take you to actually push through that?
I mean,
was it like a couple months?
It took me a couple months to get on a stage again.
Oh, wow.
To like have the courage to get up there because it was like.
Thank God you did.
Oh, thank heavens I did.
Because, I mean, saying something like, because he was pretty harsh.
Well,
and he's been harsh to other people.
He's
and
harsh to a lot of people.
Yes.
You know?
And you have to learn, you take those things with a grain of salt. And I think the thing more than anything I learned from that is nowadays people are like, oh, like he got it so wrong with you. He missed the boat. But looking at that video, like, no, he actually didn't. He didn't have to be a jerk about it. He didn't have to, like, say really harsh things to this, like, little person up on the stage who's just terrified. Like, he, like, went in for the jugular. But was he wrong? No. I really wasn't that good. And the thing is, it was like a brand new craft. I had just decided that I was going to dance and play the violin to, like, you know, contemporary music. It was like a brand new craft, and I just wasn't good enough yet at it. But that's the thing. I wasn't good enough yet.
Right.
And that was the word I had to add to the statement. He said, like, you're terrible and you'll never make it. And I was like, well, yeah, I might have been kind of terrible, but I'm just not good enough yet.
Yeah, and don't tell me that I'll never make it.
Don't tell me that I'll never make it. And the thing is, you can't ever let, like, the outside, you know, sources tell you what you are and who you are because they don't know, one, your potential. They don't know what you got inside, how much grit you have, and that's what it takes. It takes grit, the ability to be like, all right, well, if I'm not good enough, don't worry. I'll come back, and you're not going to say that next time.
Have you seen or had any kind of run-ins in the last, I don't know, few years with him, just out of curiosity or just professional settings?
I've never actually seen him again.
Oh, okay.
You know, I would love to do an interview with him.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any bitterness anymore. It took a while to be able to say that, too.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a running inside joke now. Like, we had tombstones on our stage for this, like, skeleton number we did one time. Oh, you better believe his name was on a tombstone.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You know, like, I like to play with it now. My fans know. It's kind of a funny thing. But we've tweeted a couple times, like, I invited him to my sold-out show at the Hammersmith Apollo in London. I was like, I'll save you a seat and have an X on it.
Good for you.
He wrote back, like, a funny reply. So, like, now it's like a funny thing, and it's
that's good.
You know, and if anything, it's kind of like, you know what? Thanks for, like, giving me something to really prove.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
You know,
it was
like,
a push.
It was definitely a push. First, it was a push down, but you turn that into, you know, you can turn anything into whatever you need, whether it's motivation or, like, a little kick in the pants.
Yeah.
That was my kick in the pants to be like, girl, you know, you got to work hard. This industry is, you know, not always kind. Sometimes it is. But again, I think life can be kind, and it will give you another chance.
Right on.
And even if you have a chance to sit down with him, again, don't do it. He's an a-hole.
Yeah, don't give him that.
All
You're
the
like,
time.
I'm busy. You know,
Don't.
we'll get back to you.
Because he will. He'll be so. He'll be
my
so nasty again. That's just his thing. He gets
I know.
off on it.
You're right. I'll
Yeah.
just keep my memories and
Yeah.
do my little tweets and
I
banter.
think you won in that.
Totally.
You
I
definitely
did.
won.
I've nothing left to prove there.
Served his purpose.
Good call.
Exactly.
So tell us about the new album. So it comes out September 6th, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's like a week away.
Wow.
Which is so funny, these things. You work on them for months and months and months, and then all of a sudden it's here. And you're like, wow, I get to share this art. And we actually played a little small show to kind of like, for just like intimate fans, setting, and played some of these songs for the first time. And until you play them live, you can't tell the reaction. And it was so cool to get to see people's faces as they're hearing the music for the first time.
Is that nerve-wracking, kind of leading up to that? Like, you're not sure how they're going to receive it?
Not sure how they're going to receive it. And also, nothing can prepare you for a live performance until you're on the stage. Like, I can practice these songs, I can practice with my band, but until you like have a chance to get it out there live, you don't actually know how you're going to respond to the situation, for me.
Right.
And so, I was actually super nervous, and I didn't have my dancers or costumes to hide behind. It was just a little intimate show, and I think it was really good for me, because I found out, wow, I'm terrified the day of the show. I was like, I am terrified for this performance in front of like 500 people. Like, what? But it's because vulnerability. Like, when you kind of expose yourself, like, I realized in that moment why I was like, why am I freaking out? Why am I so nervous? And it was, I think I've used like masks, and I've got really used to feeling like people come to my shows for the dancing and for the costumes and for the theatricality. Will they like me if it's just me?
Wow.
And, I think it's really important sometimes to expose yourself. Anyway, sorry, getting back to your original question.
No, that's good.
I'm super excited for this album. It's called Artemis. Artemis is the goddess of the moon. And so the album is all centered around the themes of, she's the goddess of the hunt, the goddess of the moon, the protector of virtue. And I was like, what a powerful, just holistic symbolism that presents. And so, the album's all centered around those themes. It's a very highly driven concept album, because at the same time I wrote a comic book that is hand in hand with the album, and they tell each other's story.
That's really cool.
So the comic book, is that coming out with the album then?
Oh, that was the plan. It's a little behind. It'll probably be like 3 weeks behind the album.
Cool.
Which, dang it, I've tried so hard to, but man, it was really fun to do long form storytelling. I'm very, very comfortable with short term storytelling. I do it a lot through shows, through music videos. But this was like a long form, and I've worked on it all year. And it's very anime manga style. And, and it was also fun to do such a heavy concept album where it really is all about like how Artemis became the goddess of the moon, how she fought off Nyx, the goddess of the night, to bring light to darkness.
Oh, wow.
And then like it all takes place, though, mostly in our future world, where the goddess is now trying to bring light to the future world and darkness, and her, and she's sending messages through dreams, because the moon is out at night. So through dreams, she communicates with this character in this future story to help.
You need to come next weekend for Fan X. You know what Fan X
Fan
is,
X
right?
is next weekend?
It's next weekend.
What?
You need to be a part of this
my gosh,
the next time around. You need to be a part of that, especially with your comic
No
book.
kidding.
I mean, seriously,
Gosh,
you'd be
it's
a huge draw.
I remember, Fan X. I've been there once
Massive.
before. It's so fun.
It's fun, huh?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, next weekend I think I'm in New York, but
Yeah, you're a
I
little
know.
busy.
Yeah,
right
maybe
now.
I could
Maybe
swing
a
it.
little
Oh.
short notice for that.
Right? Oh, I wish next year I'll be here for sure.
You're so fun and creative. I love your brain. I love the
Me
way
too.
you
Oh,
think and
thank you.
how you put it to paper and put it to music, and you're just a cool chick.
Well, thank you.
You're
a cool chick.
Oh, well, thanks.
I like chatting with you.
Have fun.
So we're going to play this song here with Elle King.
Yes.
And so quick story behind that. So how was it working with her?
Oh my gosh. Well, I love Elle. We met years ago at a festival. We shared a stage together, and I was just like, this chick's awesome. It was right as she was exploding. She's a ton of fun. She's been just a joy to work with. Like, she's like, whatever you need. You need to re-record it? Okay, yeah, I'll go record it. She was just like, I'll record it 10 times if you want. Like, and that's really cool. Like, not all artists are like that. Like, she's not a diva at all, in the sense of she's just like willing to do what it takes to make awesome art.
And down to earth.
She's down to earth.
Yeah.
So anyways, I love Elle. I've wanted to work with her for years. And this song is all about this album came from a place of positivity and a place of hope, which was really exciting for me, because the last 2 albums I wrote were about grief and about hardship. I'd lost my best friend and my dad to cancer at my last album, and the previous one was written about overcoming anorexia, like deep, hard, dark things. And this one, I felt like I had been in shadow for years trying to come out of those hard things. And
Right.
I felt like a part of me was lost. And I was like, you know what? I'd almost kind of come to accept it. I think that loss and death changes you.
Yeah.
And I think this is the new me. And I'm just going to have to get used to her.
Boy.
And then right about the time that I started writing this album, I suddenly felt like I'm back. Like the me is back that I am and that I love and that's full of happiness and hope. And it was so exciting to realize, wow, she wasn't gone. She didn't die with them.
Yeah.
She was just covered up in shadow. And that's why the whole album is themed around the moon, because the moon goes in cycles. And sometimes it's bright and glorious as it's in its full form. And other times it gets covered in shadow. And you might look up at the sky and think that it doesn't exist anymore.
You are deep, sister.
I'm
No,
a
she
little
make me
too
teary-eyed.
deep.
No, I love
But
it. No, I
like-
love it.
The moon will always come
Yeah.
back to full light. And all of us go through dark times and depression and grief and loss or anxiety. And it doesn't mean that you're not still powerful and full of hope and full of joy. Underneath that, you're just going through a hard time. And if you keep being positive and optimistic and work on yourself and go to therapy and whatever it is you need,
Right.
you will come back to full light. And that's what this song represents. It's the upside.
And that's where we're gonna end with that. And thank you
All
for
right.
coming in,
Thank
Lindsey
you.
Stirling. You're gonna head over and do a live performance in her performance
Right.
lounge. The album comes out on the 6th, so in a week, and it's called Artemis. And this is Lindsey Stirling and Elle King. It's called The Upside at ZHT.